digital footprint. Digital footprint gave quite a few people a headache, I guess, is the best way to phrase it, but we'll go through it. And I wish more people were able to have solved this. Only 5 solves, which is a little worrying, but we'll explain why. Okay, one of our agents in the SOC, Security Operations Center, captured some traffic from a suspicious connection on the network. We need you to take a look at the PCAP file and see if you can find anything useful. Call it a hunch, but we think the suspect was exchanging information somewhere. We're not sure where or what or even how. Okay, we get a PCAP file and we have a hint. There's more than meets the eye. If you think you found it, it didn't work. You didn't find it. This is a very good hint, and unfortunately, it did fall short on some people, and I'm going to explain why. I actually have all these saved already, so I'm going to go ahead and just open up Digital Footprint. So Digital Footprint is this. It's a huge PCAP file, and I'm talking around 150,000, 153,000 different packets here, but there's no way I'm expecting someone to comb through 153,000 packets. Most people wouldn't. You would look at this and say, okay, what is happening? What different protocols are happening here? Let's look at the protocol hierarchy. What's going on? Let's see, ICMP is going down, HTTP. There's only 48 of those. And we can see OpenVPN, we can see ISOs, UDP happening, ICMP version 6, TCP and UDP, and IPv6. So we've got a bunch of stuff happening here, but not a bunch of stuff happening in HTTP. And HTTP, of course, is not secure, and we do see that they were sending over PNGs, some MIMEs, some multimedia, and some text data. This is a great place to start. If I were a competitor, I would look here. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just simply try to say, okay, HTTP, I know that that's a big deal. I'm going to say this, HTTP. And what do you know? We narrow down 153,000 packets to, what, 48, I think it was in total. I'm going to sort it down by what were you doing? And we can see some things being posted. One of the last things that got posted was this text file. All right, we can take a look at that. It says it's 2 reassembled TCP segments. Okay. And then we have a little bit more data as well. And what you really want to do is look through all this, try to export the data objects as well. One thing that you could do is say export objects. HTTP, again, it's sent in plain, no security on that. TLS 1.3, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because this had to be re-recorded a few times, can't actually be like decrypted. You can't capture that session token, nothing for that key to really exchange, at least not currently, not as of March 2024 that I'm aware of. But regardless, we can see a few things happening. Visiting this website on this random port, and they're uploading some things. Cool. You can now download all of these, and just say, okay, what's going on? And go through them all. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say here, I'm going to download everything into this folder, and I'm going to be able to go through stuff that's happening. So we've got this logo that pops up, not really seeing anything here. I got a bar. Oh, that's actually helpful. That actually shows up pretty easily, but that's not coming up yet. That was a remnant of here, and we're going to need that later. That wasn't in there, so don't worry. It is technically in there, but you'll see what I mean. And then we have some things like this. Okay, so it looks like anything with 1 kilobyte is just going to say file was uploaded successfully. I'm going to ignore that. You might want to crawl through all of it, but realistically, you're going to want to go through this stuff. All this down here was from previous, I walked through what you're going to need to solve this. We are looking for actually one of the 1 kilobytes, so you don't want to ignore everything. You want to pull this out. It was just this for you.txt. So, if you're looking at this for you.txt, this may look familiar to you. You may look at this, and if you've done a few CTFs, you're going to say immediately, I know what that is. That's base 64. Great. If you don't know what base 64 is, you go to decode FR cipher identifier, and you can say this, and it'll tell you that's probably base 64. Or maybe you don't know that site, and you want to go to CyberChef, and you throw it over to CyberChef. See what this gives you. Now, right there, nothing of interest because I didn't paste. It says, okay, it's an octet. Now this is saying base 85. I'm not doing base 85, but we can try some things. Maybe here. Does look like it's a PNG. And I'm going to come back to that, and that's where a lot of people were failing. But looks like it's parse QR code, render image, useful op detected. Great. So this is actually giving us a lot of data. And we're going to say from base 64. Again, saying PNG. Image. So, base 64, can they do anything to turn this into an image? Not seeing that. So, this is where people were messing up. Decode base 64. I'm going to do this first, and then I'm also going to have to image. I'm going to preload that. So most people looked at this one here, and this is what we needed when you wanted to solve it, but I'm going to pin this. A lot of people got stuck here, and they just went to decode it, and they said, here's the flag, and then they got mad and said this is a fake flag. I assure you it is not a fake flag. You just didn't realize that the PNG header meant that this is an image. This is not the flag. This is close to the flag, but it's missing something right here. There are 3 characters missing here, and I can't tell you why. I actually do not understand why. It's just how it's being decoded. It's not showing you the entirety. Now, when I go back to the image, you're going to notice that this did decode into this. We have this wonderful looking little file here, and this is just, of course, your standard color code bar. Now, there are a few things that you could have done. You could have said, all right, this is what I need to solve, and you could have went from there, and maybe you figured it out, maybe you didn't. Or you could have said, okay, what do I do? Google stuff, right? Can you hide a flag in colors? And this has been done multiple times. Figured it was just another layer for you guys, but there are things that you could do that makes life easier. Now, I have this lovely feature turned on, which allows me to see. This is Windows Shift C. I have Windows Power Toys here, and I can now see all the hex for each of these. And if I were to do this, what's going to happen is I'm going to get this whole string. I'm going to just copy and paste from my file over here. I'm going to get this whole string of hex codes. And just to show it again, 6A, 63, 74, 66, 7B, 73, 74, 30, 6D, 70, 69, 6E. There are some hex readers from an image that don't work right. I can't tell you why, but I can't be blamed for bad tools. I can only show you that this is how it's showing up. So we're going to say hex to ASCII, and I'm going to copy and paste this. And wouldn't you know it, we get something very similar, but it fills in those missing pieces. So somewhere around here, it gets messed up. So each of these are 3 characters. So this is JCT, and this is F, S, and so on and so forth. And again, around here is where it breaks. You needed the full flag. So if you were to be like this, if you were to submit this, you're gonna say, great, you solved it. But if you tried to submit this, you did not solve it. That is not right. And of course, it's not gonna correct me because I've already solved it, so what's it gonna do? But that's why. So that is digital footprint solved, and I'm going to copy and paste here, and that's it.